of atheism, you cannot make predictions. That only conforms to the Christian worldview or to the God worldview, that we have an ordered universe that we can make predictions off of. So you're starting off with a faulty worldview and borrowing someone else's worldview.
That's pretty deep. I agree.
I know a lot of people don't like to hear the philosophical argument, but this is a very philosophical argument, as it was a choice. A philosophical choice to place the sun in the center, a philosophical choice to choose that the earth is round like the other planets in the skies. These were all philosophical choices, never proven.
Yeah,
And when
where
things
they
don't
get.
quite work the way they want, they come up with these ad hoc, post hoc rationalizations to say it was, predicted.
Can I get a mic check?
Yep, coming in loud and clear. Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. Sometimes my mic wire's funny, so sometimes it'll just go off funny. I was going to add in that. What was I going to add in now? Yeah, a lot of the atheists and that, well, pretty much all atheists think that conclusions based on philosophical biases was transcended in humanity with the advent of, science being the leading method of discerning facts and truth about the natural world in the mainstream. Of course, the science they believe
What passes for science today isn't the same as what science used to be. So much of it is all statistical mechanics and kinematic equivalence and transformations of reference frames and lab frames.
They don't want to know which one GPS uses either, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a big topic, isn't it?
It's getting broken down pretty big at this point, too. That I'm pretty sure flat earthers have taken that back. A preferred direction of the speed of light. Goodbye, relativity.
Yeah, that's pretty damning. C plus V, C minus V debunks relativity, and they need it for their satellite coordinate navigation to work.
It's 2024. This is the year the Globers deny their own model.
Oh, they've been denying it since the start. Anytime
Yeah, they'll do whatever it takes to quote unquote win.
Having curvature, they're,
These guys will use as many fallacious arguments as they can and get away with in order to try to win and uphold their worldview. I mean, we've already uncovered years of trickery, like in the kinds of stupid memes that they give us. It's almost like a voyeur, like some criminal voyeur who commits a crime and then loves like watching the cops up close try to solve it and scramble around and struggle. And that's how some of them seem to be with us as we're debunking their memes and figuring out the little tricks that they put in order to deceive people with.
Yeah, but the tricks are never as smart as they like to think they are.
No, I mean it's almost always like a variation of the same one or two fallacies or tricks.
Yeah. See, that is often the problematic part with engaging with Globers, is just that when you've been in looking at flat Earth and delving into it for years upon years, you've seen all the small little details that will kind of never even come to your mind in conversation with a Glober. Like, think of all the smaller NASA footage hiccups that you've probably watched, you know? It all adds up at the end of the day. But usually we only share a few main ones with Globers. And they're like, oh, well, can maybe explain away one or two in their mind, but when you've seen hundreds upon hundreds of just ridiculous things being pushed out as legitimate footage from space or spacewalks or whatever, it's just, you can't deny that something is massively wrong. And that's just the footage aspect, Then you delve into like all the endless instances of mainstream science just tripping themselves up because all their premises are based in assumptions a lot of the time, and you see endless instances of that. And again, Glober's not aware of all these things. That's why if they don't form the initiative to really look into things unbiasedly by themselves, they're never really going to see all this material, because half of it we don't even remember ourselves. But the preponderance of evidence is there.
Shoot, by this point in time, I've forgotten more than everything I've learned since digging in.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
I was just about to jump in and say that. I think over recent time, flat earthers have been very kind of focused on very specific arguments and points. But I remember back in my early flat earth days, the amount of videos I used to watch and the NASA stuff and all of this type of shit. I've probably forgotten more about that than I have recently.
Well, I mean, Iru Landucci from, he was one of the Globebusters, and he dug so deep into just finding the most obscure NASA footage that had been released, that even most flat earthers hadn't seen. So if you'd follow them along on that, you would get to see a lot. And he showed some just utterly ridiculous stuff. Going back to like the 70s or whatever, and you've got not that early, but like some of the earliest footage of spacewalks with the ISS, and it's almost like claymation,
Yeah.
It's utterly ridiculous. But yeah, he dug up some great stuff. But again, a Glober will never know these things unless they choose to look themselves. And it gets harder by the day, we know, because all the technocrats of the world are clamping down on the access to information.
That's why they repeat the Netflix stuff and the Professor Dave crap to us, because that's all they can find nowadays. It's sad.
That's all they were ever going to find anyway, because they're page one searchers, researchers. That's as far as they go.
Came across something interesting yesterday, and only because we're talking about this, I thought I'd bring it up. Does anybody subscribe to a flat earther called Flat Water? Does anybody know of him? Been around since 2015, 16, 17. I was going through some
Flat Water FE.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff that he produces and stuff. Goes in depth again into finding documentation and going through videos and shit. He done one recently. He dug up the Neil Armstrong interview with Sir Patrick Moore in 1970, just after obviously he'd been to the moon and whatnot. And he's within the video, it shows there's a guy presenting it who basically takes statements apart. He's a language expert. He listens to people and find out, their cadences and their timbres, and if they're lying and being deceitful and this, that, and the other. So I'll drop it in the live stream. It's only half an hour long. Stick it on your watch list for sometime over the next week or so. It's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating when you sit down and you watch the interviews that some of these people have done that have said that they've done, out of this world stuff, and how they report doing this out of the world stuff. It's crazy and never excited. But yeah.
Think about it. The best one-up story you've ever heard, right? He could one-up any story, and this guy's been on interviews like twice in his life or something, or it's ridiculous.
Yeah, something. He hasn't done a lot of interviews, has he, Neil? Mr. Armstrong, for sure.
Isn't it?
I mean, we've spoken about this a few times, right? You're the first man on the moon, you and your crew, right? You've been to the moon. You're going to get laid on that for the rest of your life. Your life is going to be a party, a big celebration, you know what I mean? Ticker-tape parades and man on the moon, and you expect them to be everywhere.
Yeah, VIP section, absolutely anywhere you go, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Even McDonald's will fucking put up a ribbon to make like a you know what I mean?
If you compare, say, 1970s to today, where everything is just flooded with social media, you can't move an inch without it being recorded, right?
Yeah.
If that had happened now, I still don't think they would have had any. They would have stayed away from talking as much, because these people didn't want to talk. Neil Armstrong specifically, he really didn't want to talk about this. If you've been to the moon, brother, and you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I know. Like the top 1,000, like, you know, kind of YouTube channels that interview celebrities and stuff. You know,
yeah.
Banging on his door, man, to get an interview, and he probably deny all of them. No doubt the only interviews would be these very controlled ones from some very established legacy media outlet or something. Which is what we got anyway. That's the interviews that do exist.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we do have. Buzz Aldrin getting drunk and spilling the beans to 9-year-old girls. That's about it.
Yeah, they asked for a whistleblower, right? That guy can't even stop drinking because of how much guilt and shame he feels.
Yeah, I think that's actually quite a good phrase. Like, sometimes people come in and ask us, you know, why hasn't anybody come out and said anything? Well, sometimes it's what people don't say as opposed to what they do say. When you look at these people that are said to have done something spectacular out of this world, they're not saying much. So in their own little way, you could take that as a whistleblow in some respects, because they ain't saying much at all. And then they have contradictory stories with regards to people that have said to have gone to low Earth orbit in the International Space Station, just with regards to seeing stars and stuff.
Yeah, you couldn't see stars 60 years ago, but you can now.
Yes, exactly that. It's
when
crazy.
you're still within some form of atmosphere as well, being the ISS.
Yeah,
you can see them. But when you're out in the black of space, you know, can't see them.
Don't worry, guys. We're here in Florida interviewing these astronauts on the weekends when they're at the space stations or at the, you know, Cape Canaveral at the launch places, and we're actually asking them these questions, and we're seeing how many different answers we're getting. It's pretty interesting.
I mean, how does a global rationalize that? What is the explanation for not being able to see stars with your own eyes out while you're traveling to the moon?
No.
Yeah, because that should be the most like batshit insane statement. We didn't see any stars. You didn't see any stars in a universe of, you know, infinite stars, effectively. So you didn't see any.
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're the fucking idiots, eh? Because we don't believe shit like that.
And even when and it seems pretty hammy now, right, to show International Space Station footage of astronauts jumping around and like doing somersaults and shit, and showing where the harnesses are, and showing where things like seem to glitch for a moment, where you can possibly say it's augmented reality or some kind of CGI or whatever. We've had loads of conversations when presenting people with that, and I don't understand the coping mechanism. There's always something. Right, they'll always lean on something. You can't be too sure of this. I mean, whatever excuse they're coming up with, it's not that. But they try to make excuses. The excuses come quickly. It's the dodgy signal up there at the International Space Station. That's why it cut out for a bit.
I rarely see them attempt to explain the fade ins and fade outs of the supposed astronauts.
Well,
They admit to the augmented reality with that one. They admit that was like a children's show, and they do augmented reality for them or something like that. And it's like, okay, so if you admit they do augmented reality, how do you know when they're not using it?
Hold tight, Tora. Did you just say they admit to staging the events for children?
That's correct. The one on the ISS, the augmented reality. You remember how there's like a toy that just pops into?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think there's, is it a teddy bear or something like that? There's always a pen or something that blips in and out. But if they admit to staging events just for children, game's over, man. You can't rely on anything that they say. Just by that. Oh yeah, we've
it's always the same, isn't it? They always let their astronauts be interviewed, quotes, by a child that asks the same questions. Oh, can you do somersaults in space? And what's it like looking down on the Earth and blah blah blah. Never anything detailed. Like, what's the specific variables in your experiments you're running up there? Never get a question like that. How many times have you successfully grown lettuce now? Like fucking 7 times.
Yeah, right. Did anybody see the docking and the astronauts going up to the International Space Station last week or the week before? Just recently. Did anybody catch any of that? If not, I was just staggered. I think there's 2 women on the International Space Station. They would do a fantastic advertisement for Hairspray. I don't understand why these women have their hair undone, and when it's long, it's even 0G, and it's just sticking up on end like some kind of troll. I thought if you're in some kind of like scientific place, which the International Space Station is supposed to be a flying laboratory, right? So you would have thought you'd at least pull a hair back. You would have thought, right? Put it in a bun or something. But no, it's all over the fucking place. Shit, you know what it's like when women are around. The hair gets everywhere.
Yeah.
You find it in craziest places, and I'm pretty sure it smells like hair up there.
Shave cut, basically.
That
would make most practical sense to minimize particulates.
Yeah, you would have thought.
But no. I don't even agree if this whole paradigm was real. I don't believe we'd ever send women into space. You would never fucking choose a man over a woman for such a expedition to such an environment, to such stress and needing to have your mind about you and all this. Why would you would never send up a woman because they go a bit haywire per month, you just wouldn't put that around in such a fucking life or death environment.
You can't send women to the moon. Bloody hell, that I play havoc with that menstrual cycle. Getting that close to the thing.
Being on the very thing that controls.
Yeah. I'm mad. Good point. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, people will just hear misogyny in that statement, but it's more like, from a purely practical sense, you would send your absolute best, brightest, and strongest,
Yeah.
And yeah, sure, maybe there's an exception.
I think that's what they did on the first one, right? Buzz Aldrin, Neil Armstrong, these guys were like extreme fighter pilots, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, even NASA's not immune from diversity quotas.
Now they send up gender fluid potato farmers.
What was the deal with that footage you were bringing up, Jedi, last week?
Say that again, mate. Sorry.
You mentioned, did anyone catch the footage of the astronauts going to the
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I watched it, Doc. I mean, that was phenomenal. It was just the women. It was just their hair. We've seen videos of interviews with astronauts that are female, and the footage of or the descriptions of, hey, look at their hair. I mean, you're in 0G, blah blah blah, and it just caught my attention, man, because it's the same story. The hair's all over the bloody place. Like I said, it's like a troll's haircut. Like,
Isn't the thing with the women's hair though that it's very static and like glued?
It don't move. It's like rock.
Compared to like a 0G flight, you know, where their hair is like flowing and all over the place.
Yeah, it's like rock. It's like it's been set with hairspray, like I said, for effect.
Yeah, is that what was happening in that footage as well?
Yeah.
Just wasn't acting naturally, or as you would expect it to.
It's not acting naturally. It's like rock, like I said, like a hairspray. And the reason why I brought it up is because they obviously do this for effect. Right? Look at 0G. Look at the women's hair all up on end. Right? 0G. Right? We're in space. When seriously, if you're serious people and you're scientists and you're living in that condition, right? And it's not a clean place from all reports, right? If we're to believe the story, it's not clean up there. So you tie your hair back because it'd be constantly getting in your face. It'd be constantly getting in everybody else's face. It'd be constantly falling out. So fucking hell, man. So I just think they do it for effect.
Yeah.
If that's what their hair is doing, I hope their bowels aren't doing the same.
You know, if you're in like a machinist shop, you better be fucking tying your long hair back, or you're gonna have a bad day.
Such a good point, Jedi. Why wouldn't they just tie it back in a ponytail and just at least like gel that up or something?
Yeah, exactly. You know what women are like with their hair, right?
I think women really were the greatest advent when it came to incorporating them into the mainstream media and all these things, because that, you know, the women are wonderful effect. People will naturally believe a woman over a man.
Wasn't it?
Sorry.
No, I'm interrupting you, man, but only because I got a thought in my head.
Wasn't it? Yeah, so they would naturally trust a woman more than a man, you know, believing the woman to be more virtuous. So anyway.
Yeah, no, you are right. I was just thinking, was the Challenger disaster the first time they sent a woman up?
No. Sally Ride was the first woman sent up, and they gave her 100 tampons, a backpack full of.
Where were they sending you?
Yeah, look it up. It's hilarious. It's like,
yeah, but where was she being sent to?
Oh, low orbit for 7 days or 6 days.
Oh, 100 tampons. What the fuck?
Great. What's the longest time a woman has spent in space?
Yeah, the last two. The one that they're planning on sending to the moon was like 366 days. Or something like that.
666. Peggy Whitson.
Oh, maybe. Oh, yeah. Yes, right. Maybe. Yeah, the old lady.
Wasn't
the
she?
Short hair.
Yeah, I think I know her.
Yeah, she was a commander for a little while.
The Challenger thing is so fucking hilarious that these clowns are still alive, you know? They've all got twins. None of them showed up for their twins' funeral. It's like, come on, Globers, get your fucking head out your ass.
Well, again, all right, this is just to make the fucking thing like full of drama and get people's attention, and always going to space dangerous and things blow up and people die, and there was a woman on that, and think of the children. That kind of emotional kind of
mind control, you know?
Yeah, exactly that.
And it was, you know, it hit the heart even harder because there was women involved, and specifically a teacher woman, you know?
There you go.
This is around the same time they would tell you to hide under your desk in case of an atomic bomb or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
because that was happening as well. Yeah.
That's going to be happening again. It's coming back around in their playbook, you know. They just recycle this shit.
Yeah. Because it worked so well at the time.
It's like they did a 180 on climate change effects, you know. Up until like 85 or 90s, it was the Great Freeze was coming, you know. And they just 180'd and recycled it into the, you know, Great Burning is coming. Nobody noticed, nobody cared. Still believe them.
Got to keep that act going. Got to keep people interested, I guess. Hey, look, we're going to space. Oh shit, isn't it dangerous? Look at the astronaut's hair. It's like, oh, space. Just stay interested in space. Aliens next. I don't know. I think NASA did that quite well. Aliens. The kind of the secret NASA wanted you to think that they were keeping from us. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's some 4D chess right there. That's what I mean. Like, there's people that believe in aliens now. They would have mad ripped the piss out of you know, the die-hard alien conspiracy theorists like 20 years ago.
I mean, I guess we're all around the same age, right? Brought up through the 80s, 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Aliens was everywhere. Like TV, we're obviously we're well into the heliocentric model by now. I thought aliens was a given. Obviously, right? The universe is huge. There's other planets out there.
That was my same reasoning.
So they pulled that one on me for sure, because we're born into it. Obviously, space exists. Obviously, it's huge. Planets, aliens, yeah, it's all plausible. Yeah. And then they give us the idea that maybe the aliens, you know, we came from them. Maybe they're our creators. Brilliant.
Maybe they're wrapping the truth with a lie, right? Maybe there is more land, it's just not in the sky. Right? Maybe there is more people, but not in the sky, dude.
It's crazy, you know.
I think that's quite likely. It's the thing that the notion of extraterrestrials is far more fascinating in like a geocentric paradigm than a heliocentric.
In some ways, it seems more plausible.
Well, yeah, as I think Dave Weiss is always putting it, like, you know, they're only a plane flight away potentially. You know, they could stop off for lunch, and if they look similar to us, who would ever really know? They just come from outer lands.
What do you think, like, you know, tyrants rule would cause them not wanting the people to go places, obviously. So they tell the people the earth is flat, right? And they tell them they're going to fall off the edge. Then people venture out, find out there is no edge. So they're like, well, we can't have these people leaving, so let's just wrap all the land, the known land, onto a globe that they know of, and then we'll tell them that's all of it.
Yeah, that's the insidious part. Prison for the mind, you know.
That's my why would they lie?
I don't think you're that far off the truth, to be fair. I think there's, you know, multiple reasons, but that's definitely a good one.
Trying to reach the atheist there, you know, because I know, in my opinion, obviously, to hide the creator would be the number one, but
I have some ideas on this. Sometimes I think it's the creator trying to hide himself. They protect this lie to such a level. It's almost as if the creator told, you know, the few that run this world, don't allow the masses to know.
I believe that would be the god of this world, the adversary.
I think choice comes into it a lot. The thing is, we're flooded with choice.
So true. So true.
Abu Salah has just joined us. What's up, man? You good?
Yeah.
Good shit. Earth's flat and all that, right? Or not?
No,
No? Why is that then?
I don't know, man. I just spawned here.
Huh? Sorry?
I don't know. I just got here, man. I don't know.
You just got here. Oh, okay. No worries. Just been born this one, guys. Hasn't had time to figure it out. Do you believe in all of the NASA space stuff?
Why not? Yeah, it sounds fun.
Have you really in depth looked at it, or do you just partially scan it? Don't really pay that much attention. Just know it happens.
Are you a flat earther?
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, why? Because the Earth is observed, measured, and practically used as a flat stationary plane.
Does it matter if it's round or flat?
Yeah, because when you asked the question, how the fuck did that get here then, like the Earth, you've really only got two choices.
I
Oh,
mean,
hello.
does it matter? Will it affect you by any chance if it's round?
I think that when... Okay. So like I was saying, when you ask the question how the Earth got here, you've got two choices. The fact that some people think the Earth was created from a Big Bang devoid of intelligence, I'd look at that.
Well, what's your own perspective? Do you believe anything of that, or you have another theory or explanation? I guess.
I think the Earth was created by intelligence.
Which intelligence?
No, I've never met them.
You don't know them. You just believe in them.
It's answering this question. How did the Earth get here? You've got two choices. If you're asking about... Oh, no? Okay, go on, what?
I guess, as you said, it's two choices. It's either science, which, explains a lot, yet not for me, and the other explanation is God.
No.
People believe in God, and they believe it's round as God says, right?
It's not science and God. It's... We're asking the question of how it was created. It's either
I
nature...
just told you.
You're literally not letting me answer, and you've made a mistake. Science isn't going to create it, right? Science tells us that the Earth created itself naturally, all by itself, right? Okay. And then you've got the other choice, intelligence created. You've only got those two choices if you're asking the question how something was created. Of course, you could speculate that maybe everything was here eternally, but we're not asking that question. You've got two choices when asking how something is created. It either sprang into existence all by itself and created itself, or is it intelligently created? Now, it's not a question about the will of a deity or a doctrine of religion. It's just answering that philosophical question.
Yeah, sound nice, man.
Cool.
Man. Fuck, man. Oh, I have a very nice question for you.
Okay.
If it was round, what is the consequences of Earth being round?
What's the consequences of the Earth being round? Okay.
Yeah.
One, the Earth is limited in size. That means that all the land masses that we have presented to us on the ball is all that we are given. If the Earth is not restricted in that size and is flat and has a different size, then there's potential for things to be hidden. extra land, resources, those types of things. That's just one.
Okay, if I went to the northern end or the southern end, will I eventually see the borders of the earth? Where it just stops and there is no more. It's round.
Yeah.
Flat.
So again, when answering this question, you've got two choices. One, the Earth is infinite, goes on forever, has no beginning or end, and you will never reach a limitation. Second choice, the Earth is...
The first, before you go to the second, do you believe the first is absolutely foolish? If it's true, then there would be no world map. There would be multiple human, I guess, beyond what we know of. It's absolutely idiotic and foolish to think about this.
Okay. So if we're told that the Earth is in a planet in space and there are other planets with aliens on, do you think that's plausible?
I don't know. You tell me.
Within the heliocentric paradigm of the Earth being a ball in space with lots of planets around, it sounds very plausible, doesn't it? Why would the Earth be so special? The only thing with life on it in an ever-expanding universe that's had planets spring into existence and die before we even got it, and will have afterwards. So, yeah, it seems plausible within that idea. So why, when I say that maybe the Earth's bigger and there's more undiscovered stuff by 99.99%, but there is extra land?
I think you are an absolute foolish for thinking that, yeah. Because you're not giving any proof, you're just claiming something that never happened, that will never ever happen. It's not even existing. The idea of you making such a bold claim without any evidence is just foolish.
Of what? Evidence of what?
Of the claim you just said.
Talking philosophically at the moment about the idea that other things exist. You asked me what the consequence...
What's the
Excuse
limit?
me, my friend. Excuse me. You asked me what the consequence was of the Earth being a ball. I said, well, obviously, limited in size, limited in landmass. If the Earth was flat, and we're speculating, if the Earth was bigger, there might be the possibility for extra lands and maybe civilizations that we don't know about. You actually brought that up, as I remember. So I was...
Okay, since if there is such thing, why they don't know about us, or we don't know about them, or we can go to see them?
Because we, the majority of people, think the Earth is limited in size and is a ball, and the land masses that we see are the only ones that
us. You are the enlightened one. You are the brightness to our darkness. Go discover it, record it, and send it to me in the DMs. I would be the first follower to you. You would be Jesus Christ to me.
This conversation is about whether the Earth is flat or not.
Huh?
You want to know what?
More land masses out there. So you call us foolish for holding such potential ideas in speculation, but you don't even realize your entire paradigm has no actual evidence to it. You want us to go out there, find these potential extra civilizations, record them, bring you evidence back, but we're here to ask you, where's your measurements of the surface of Earth curving to prove your paradigm?
I would tell you, look at your profile picture.
Yes, that's a picture.
Yeah. Do you know?
Not reality.
One sec. Yeah. Since you have such a profile picture, I want to ask you something. Do you believe in this profile picture to be the truth about the night and the day?
I think that is just a conception of what could potentially be, but...
Yeah, then explain the lunar eclipse.
That's a good one.
Hey, forever. Explain everything to me. Brilliant.
Yeah. But we're talking about the surface of Earth. That's what's in contention, not the luminaries, not the sky.
I don't know.
I mean, why do you think the Earth is a ball?
I think you're not supporting any of your claims with the proof.
You haven't really asked me any questions, my friend. You just asked me to speculate, and I followed you along with that.
None of
If
my
you
question
want
has been
to get
answered or
hello,
proved. The only thing you
you're kind of
answered is what,
testing my patience
oh,
now, Sunshine.
there are only two options that we think that are right. None of your claims will be true or mathematically true.
Which one? Which one of
All
my
of them.
claims? Which one specifically?
Or
Give me
just
one.
all
We'll
of them.
go through them
When I
one by
asked
one.
you, when I asked you what will happen if it was round or
Mm.
yeah, you tell me, oh, there's two options, whether it's infinity and it has no end, that is just going on. That's a claim. If you don't know
Yeah.
the meaning of claim, it's
Excuse me.
just an idea.
Excuse me.
He
It's
never
not
made the
supposed to be
claim. He
true.
was speculating.
Excuse me. You asked me what would happen at the end. I said you got two choices. You're right. It's either infinite and you won't get to an end, or it's finite and you will get to an end. Literally sitting
Okay,
here
so
answering
that's a
your
claim.
questions
That's not
without
proof. It's not even a
making
theory, man.
any claims. Don't talk through me, my friend. I'll get annoyed because I've given you my patience and time, and then you're turning around and kind of attacking
Save
me
it to
for it.
yourself, man. I'm done with you. I'm done with you.
Yeah, you can fuck off. This obviously isn't for you.
Yeah.
See ya.
I have a question.
Not for
I have
you,
a question.
Sunshine.
I have a question, if I may.
Yes.
Do planets exist in our solar system?
What's a planet?
According to Saturn, Neptune, Pluto.
No, those are names of things. What is a planet?
Absolutely.
I mean, like the Earth, a round object that basically revolves around the sun.
Oh, uncontained gas pressure systems in a vacuum. No, the planets aren't those. We can see Jupiter, Mars. Sorry, do you want to jump in again?
Yeah, I'm saying that what science defines as planets, like Jupiter, Mars, Venus,
Yeah, no,
Neptune, like
no,
Saturn, etc.
no, because
What are
they
the
tell us. Because they tell us, for example, that Jupiter is an uncontained ball of gas in a vacuum. That kind of goes against laws of nature. I don't know if you're aware.
Well, do you know a thing called gravitation?
Have you got an experiment? Have you got a hypothesis that I can test in experimentation? What's
what
gravity?
is the sun according to you? What is the sun?
What's we're off. What is the sun? According to you, that's an uncontained ball of. Yeah, that's an uncontained ball of gas. According to you, I don't know what the sun is. I'm not making any claims about it. Why are you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking
What?
how would you define the sun based on your knowledge?
How would I define it? I don't know the size. I don't know the distance. I don't know what it's made of.
Yeah, I'm not asking you what you don't know. I'm saying what you know. How would you define the sun based on what you know?
A ball of light in the sky gives us heat.
A ball of light? Where does the heat come from?
The sun, apparently.
No.
It's at least circular and it emits light.
So where does the heat come from? Not like the object, but where is the source, the energy source? How does heat is created?
I don't know. Some kind of reaction.
What is that reaction called, according to you?
I don't know. You're the one who seems to
I mean, you
think
can
that
Google.
you.
You can Google.
Excuse me, dude. Why have you got to interrupt? I'm letting you speak. Why is it every time I speak, you guys got to jump over me? Don't get it. Now I know we are told about the sun. I know we're told it's a ball of gas, stroke plasma, and it has fusion. That's what we're told. Now that story violates the second law of thermodynamics.
What do you mean?
You can't have uncontained gas pressure in a vacuum. Entropy will increase. The gas will fill the space.
Again.
Again.
You are missing the fact, or you are denying that gravity.
Okay. No problem. You've got two choices. One, you can give me a hypothesis that I can test to prove the gravity that you're talking about, whichever one that is. Or two, you can have gravity, I'll give it to you, and you can show me here on Earth where it's changing the vector of gases. Two
Again,
choices. Which one?
gravity is like measured like
You drop a rocket, falls
when
down
when when
at a specific rate.
when you are dealing with like huge masses. Gravity is
Mass,
not like a strong force like
not
electromagnetic force.
gravity is
Again,
not a
why
force.
we
everyone
know the
keep
fairy tales,
interrupting me? I don't know why.
Gravity is
I
not a
don't know
force.
why.
Dude.
Why is the people like trying to interrupt me when I'm talking? Like I'm trying to explain. And
Because
yeah,
gravity is not a
we
force.
know the
I've
fairy
given you
tale.
two choices.
no,
You haven't
I'm
given me
saying
either.
why. Yes, there's it's called the force of gravity. It is a
No,
force.
it's
What
not. It isn't. All right.
what the
Would you like
fuck?
me to
What
cite?
is gravity
I'll
then?
cite this for you, dude. I'll cite this for you. It's not a problem. Give me a moment. I'll give you 5 to 10 citations, Nobel laureates, scientific professors, PhDs telling you that
Again, you are catering to
gravity
authority.
is
So
not a force.
according to the definition, the force that attracts a body towards the center of the
Not
earth is called
like this.
gravity. I don't know what type of definition you are getting to, but this is the official definition from the dictionary. Okay,
Dictionary.
gravity is a
That's not
force.
the
I
word.
don't know. I don't know why you want to define new things, but if you don't believe in a thing, try to.
Dude, why are you
But
getting upset? I'm not
I'm not
defining
getting
new things.
upset. Why
Let
should I
me
be
read.
upset
Let me
about
read.
your stupidity?
So, where should we go to first? University
Again,
Today,
what is
Wikipedia.
gravity? First, we have to define gravity. What is gravity?
Well, let's read, shall we? Gravity is most accurately described as the general theory of relativity proposed by Albert Einstein in 1915, which describes gravity not as a force. In general,
Who
excuse
invented
me,
gravity?
I haven't finished smacking you around. You've started to become rude and obnoxious. I'm going to treat you as such. In general relativity, gravity is not a force between masses. Strictly
What is that?
speaking, gravity is not. I haven't finished. Strictly speaking, gravity is not a force. According to the theory, gravity is not a force. So,
No, but
although Earth, I haven't
show
finished.
me the evidence.
Excuse me,
That
I've
is not
cited this in the side chat. You can go and read it. I've cited it from references. You can look at the references. So, although
Can
Earth
you tag
appears to
me?
be,
Because there are many
well, I haven't
people
finished.
posting.
Excuse me,
So I
I
know.
haven't finished. You think you know what you're talking about? I'm telling you, you don't. So, although Earth appears to be pulled towards the sun by gravity, there is no such force.
So
Newtonian
this is
gravity.
from University of Texas.
Excuse me, I haven't finished. Newtonian gravity died when Einstein debunked him 100 years ago, 1915, by the way. Newton himself did not even believe in mass attracting mass gravity. Not a force.
So I posted from the University of Texas, by the way.
Okay,
Gravity
that's
is
lovely.
indeed a real force, but not in a
It is now.
traditional sense. Okay.
Oh, not a force then.
No, you're fucking retarded. Not in a
No, I'm
traditional
not.
sense. I understand that your vision is like impaired, but so let
No,
me
it's
finish
not.
my point. In other words,
No, you're just
gravity is
rude.
not a direct classical action at a
So
distance
not a
far
force then.
from objects. However, in a
It's
broad
Which you
not.
haven't
sense,
proved
gravity
anyway,
is
so we're just
indeed a
entertaining
force
this nonsense.
because it describes. Why you keep interrupting me? You were complaining all this time, and let me
That was
finish my
me,
point.
not him. Different
Okay,
voices.
I mean,
Yeah, I'll
like,
interrupt you too, dude. You wouldn't let him talk, so why the fuck should we let you talk?
Gravity is
What?
indeed a force because it describes the resulting interaction between two masses. Gravitational effects are fundamentally caused by the warping of space-time and the
Oh, so you got two different gravities there.
space-time.
Which
However, the
gravity?
end result is as if a force was applied. Therefore, the
Oh.
most accurate approach would be called gravity and a mere emergent force, meaning that it looks like a direct force, is actually emerging
So
from
not
the
a force
fundamental
then.
effects.
So not a force then. So not a force. So which gravity? Sorry, my friends. Which gravity are you going to die on the hill for? Is it going to be Newtonian gravity, mass attracts mass, the force, or is it going to be Einstein, not a force?
It is.
Which one?
It is either one. It's better than your mumbo jumbo explanation.
Excuse me, I haven't even given you an explanation yet. I've just pointed out that according.
You haven't showed me anything.
Yes, I have.
Tell me what is the sun made of?
I don't
Tell
know.
me what is the sun made of.
But
Oh,
it
you don't
violates
know.
the second
You
law
know a
of
lot of things. You know
thermodynamics.
about gravity and the universe, but you don't know about the sun. or you
Excuse me.
pick and
I've
choose which
Like,
one you have to
like,
accept or not. This is
right.
like very lame
This
argument.
conversation is going to start going one way in a moment, mate. When you keep interrupting me
Again,
and
when
start
you're
building strawmen, it's not going
no,
to
no,
go
I'm
well.
asking you. I'm asking
It's
you
not.
based on the laws of
It-
physics.
It's not going to go well for you. Now you need to take a breath, and we'll go back to according to the laws of physics. We will start specifically with the second law of thermodynamics and why the entropy of a system will increase. You cannot have uncontained gas pressure. Gravity does not affect the entropy of a system. We can go there. Are you fucked off? Oh, bye.
It was a waste of time, Jedi.
Yeah, I know.
Ambo has a nice comment here, or claim here in chat. Points of equal elevation don't lay on a single horizontal plane. This is verifiable and impossible on a topographical plane.
Golly, jeez, what a misunderstanding, huh?
Oh dear.
I don't think he understands what a plane is or what points of equal elevation are.
Doesn't sound. The problem, okay, is it's not a force. As quoted and demonstrated, and I could have pulled out another 15, 20 citations. So all we're going to end up with is a lot of people claiming that gravity is a force, isn't a force, it's this, it's that. End of the day, no scientific experiment. And a lot of physicists still don't know which fucking hymn sheet to sing from. That's all we're going to demonstrate here. And you lot are going to come in here claiming knowledge about what gravity is, when your own fucking priest can't get it right.
You have not demonstrated anything. You have shown a few you have shown a few definitions.
Cool.
Those
Right.
definitions
So
are not in conflict with what is being taught.
No, excuse me.
Really?
They were not definitions. They were citations.
Okay, citations, but you've still not demonstrated anything.
So, like I pointed out, maybe you didn't hear me. I'll say it again. Even your own side, your priests, scientists, they can't find between themselves what the fuck that is then, with regards to gravity.
Okay, my side assigns me to a side, and calling people priests is derogatory in this context. So both are not valid things to say. And yes, under general relativity, gravity is not a force. Nobody that is informed about the matter is disputing that, but it's not really changing anything about the matter.
Don't really care.
Because even under general relativity, gravity is causes an apparent force, causes things, masses to appear to accelerate towards each other.
So first he says it's not a force, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it's not.
So then shut the fuck up.
But even under general, wait a second. Under general relativity, according to the mathematics that they are doing, right? Do the coordinates of forces get of two masses, two very massive objects? Do those coordinates get closer to each other at an increasing speed, at an increasing rate, or not?
Prove it.
Do you mean I can use the citations that every Jedi?
No, I want you to show me mass attracting mass in a reality, dude.
I could show it in my bowl of cereal.
I'm talking about the fact that the citations that Jedi use did not change anything about the subject matter, which is their claim that masses being present causes them to appear to accelerate towards each other.
It's not a force, dude.
Okay, nobody's claiming that.
You.
That does not change what is causing.
For the guy that isn't here anymore. Stop doing it, dude.
I'm not white knighting for anything. I'm just trying to figure out why you're making those citations, because you keep claiming, well, people are not informed about it, and I'm trying to point out, hey, even under those under the site.
Yeah, AK, you know what we've been trying to figure out for years is why Globers think gravity proves the globe. why they always go to it instead of talking about the surface. So anytime we talk about gravity, we're just entertaining fairy tales anyway. You don't have your foundational premise proven, which is a spinning ball Earth. Prove that first.
Okay. Can I attempt to answer without getting muted here?
Go for it.
Is that okay?
That
Okay,
depends.
cool.
That depends. Are you going to be in good faith, or are you going to start being aggressive and start talking through people? Are you going to do that?
No, I will give my answer in good faith.
Good.
All right. So good. So why people turn towards gravity when or talk about gravity when talk comes up about substantiating if the Earth is a globe, is that the direct consequence, if the description of gravity with general relativity, for example, is correct, then if you have any very big mass, very big clump of material, it will form a spheroid. It will crumble into that. So have the very concept of having a flat Earth will not be sensible if that concept or that is described as general relativity is valid.
A sphere beneath our feet in reality, correct?
Indeed, yes.
Okay, so let's go out and measure for that.
Okay, how would you like to measure for that?
I don't know, maybe a laser test across an extended distance. See if the surface is curving, dropping away from the laser.
All right, so you're somehow setting the laser to be a straight reference, right?
Mm-hmm.
In order to measure the ground from that. Okay, how do you secure that the laser is a straight reference?
Well, you level it as best possible.
Okay, but it's light that travels from one point to another when you do that test.
Yeah, so you account for refraction, dude.
How would you do that?
With the refraction table that we're given.
The refraction table we're given. What's the refraction table?
The index of refraction over a distance, and the conditions of the day.
Okay, so you would need a grid of ambient measurements of ambient conditions to very high accuracy, very fine grid along the observation line or along the line that you shoot the laser at.
Does it have to be a very fine grid?
Well, we know that the ambient conditions have statistical variations between the different locations. For example, the twinkling of stars is due to the air conditions varying slightly over time when you look into that direction. But it's evident that you need a grid of that you can't just take your measurements at where you set up the laser and then presume from that you have the same ambient conditions along the entire line of observation. Is that being done? Because the test that obvious LTB
laser measurements, yeah, they've been done.
Yeah, those have been done, but the conclusions they always draw from, well, we shouldn't be seeing that with taking the laser as a more or less straight reference, or as a reference that's reflected at most with standard conditions.
So you're taking the long way around to say that these tests, you can't falsify the globe with these tests. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
what is observed, refraction always accounts for it. That's what you're saying.
I wouldn't even say that you have to measure the gradient of temperature in every single meter of the observation. Even doing that in only one place where you're standing and calculating the index would be great, but they don't even bother to do that one thing.
I understand what you said.
No, you were misconstructing what I was saying, though. You were drawing a conclusion that I was not making.
No, that is the point of everything you're saying?
No.
Is that you don't believe you can falsify the globe with these measurements or observations?
Okay, I did not say that. You said I mean to say that.
But that's the point.
That's the point of what I'm making, what I'm saying, and I'm correcting you, saying no, I don't. Now, the intellectually honest reaction to that would be to ask me, okay, what did you intend to say then?
Well, sorry, I've heard it 1,000+ times, so I maybe jumped the gun. I apologize.
Thank you.
Was this what you intended to say?
No, you can't falsify the given information with that. But since you do not have the ground, what the ground does on a macroscopic level, or what a level surface does over a bigger distance, as a reference, you will have to narrow down. You have to.
How do you know?
How
do you know that we don't have a flat ground? Like you just assume it's a ball? Well, you just said we can't do it because we don't have a flat ground.
Let me finish what I was saying, maybe.
Maybe. Oh, maybe. Sorry.
It would be an idea, right? Instead of interjecting in the middle of what I was saying, wait until I'm finished with it and then see what I was actually trying to say.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Does that sound like a reasonable thing to do?
Hold on, Guy. AK, you just said that we accused you of saying none of this could be falsified and then told us it can't be falsified yourself.
No. I was about to explain how to falsify it and contrast that to what is actually being done with the laser test that we are actually that we are presented with. Show what exactly the difference is between the necessary information to make those conclusions and what is actually being done. So I'm not at all saying you can't falsify it with that kind of test. I'm not at all saying that I know what the result will be. I was about to explain the difference between what is being done, the information that we are presented with, and what the problem with is versus as in what information we would actually need.
Yeah, you would like a measurement like this performed with the atmospherics recorded at equal increments all the way across the measurement distance, correct?
Yes, it would be necessary.
So if that was provided to you and it still demonstrated that there is no curvature beneath our feet, how would you move the goalposts then? Would you say it's not enough?
Move the goalpost?
Yeah, because
I'm not moving anything. You can stop that slander. That's okay. You don't have to do that.
You're just saying things you don't actually mean. You're not moving the goalposts. I get it.
So when Globers present observations of ships supposedly going over the horizon, and we have all this distortion due to light interacting with the atmosphere, do you demand the same standard of that observation?
From my experience, the photos showing these ships disappearing have the least distortion compared to the ones showing them being further away than you would expect.
But still, it stands. We're trying to be intellectually honest here and scrutinize as best possible. Do you ask for them measuring all along the whatever distance is being observed and showing you the atmosphere?
If they make a quantitative claim from that, yes.
So you don't yourself believe in any of these observations then, because there is no observations that give that data?
What do you mean with believe in those observations?
Well, an average glober would come along and be like, here, look, there's a ship being obscured by the curvature of the Earth. Look, there you go. Earth's a globe. And then I would say, well, here's laser measurements showing there's no expected drop from the curvature of the Earth. And I present that to you. You say, oh, well, the atmospherics weren't recorded at specific intervals across the measurement path. So I'm just seeing if you're intellectually honest that you would not take the Glober's piece of evidence to be evidence because it doesn't, hold the standard you're expecting as far as information given, however you want to say it. I'm just trying to get your position. Do you treat that equally the same way? Which would mean you don't believe these observations.
Let me know when you're finished asking your question.
Okay, sorry, I'm done now.
Okay, cool. So, yes, when someone is just making an observation, says, okay, then that much appears obstructed, and this is due to the curvature, then yes, you have to hold it to the same kind of scrutiny. You have to say, well, is it really, or are we having some other effects like mirages, some other optical effects going into that? Because often people would say, look, you see the horizon here, and you see it's a clear line that and things start being obstructed at that point. And when you actually make the when you actually zoom in and go into detail of the observation, you're seeing that, oh no, you're not actually seeing the horizon without any distortion. You're seeing like a fold line of something being mirrored, or the obstruction is not the obstruction bottom up does not appear at where the horizon is. And all those things, yes.
Oh, welcome to Flat Earth.
So we both agree that none of these observations of boats being obscured in any such way demonstrate a globe Earth.
Okay, so here's where I'm at with that. I can understand how the horizon works.
Can you define horizon?
A simple yes or no, though. We both agree that none of these observations demonstrate a globe.
That takes away a lot of nuance that I think is important.
I really don't think it does, because you just expected a
well, if you think so, that's good for you, but that doesn't change it. That doesn't change the facts. So,
and you just went on to say that you also expect the same standard from their side. Mm-hmm. That means you don't hold a position on any of these observations. Therefore, they're moot, because there is no observations of such that provide the details you ask for.
Well, there's other things that we can do in order to mitigate the effects, or
certainly, but I've never excuses. Any of these observations given.
Yeah, excuses.
With
Go at it with a scientific mind, which means isolating different things and analyzing it.
Yes, your cope has been isolated. I'm not gonna waste my time analyzing it.
Yeah. You're in bad faith,
but it's been isolated.
You don't have to join the conversation. You can just shut the fuck up.
I know I don't have to. I chose to.
Exactly.
And your cope has been isolated.
So you can shut the fuck up.
I might just analyze your cope now.
Things start getting a little bit fucking heated. You're the first person I'm going to mute. Stop being rude to people.
I'm the one that's being excused of coping here when I'm actually just trying to have.
Shut up.
Jedi, can you take over this? I got to step out, man.
Yeah, man, no worries.
But good speaking to you, AK. I just really wanted to see if we were on the same level as far as being intellectually honest with each other.
Yeah.
Well, as far as that, we are, but we are seeing a different need of accuracy with regards to analyzing things. So that's where we start to disagree.
So you think an observation involving a laser itself, right, requires more details given than an observation with your fucking eyes staring out at the horizon or a camera?
No.
Okay, well, then we're not.
But there's different things that we need to talk about in each case.
I've got some stuff to take care of. But Jedi, yeah.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
So to define the horizon is where is the line where the sky and the ground appear to meet. And in context of conversations about this, I think it's sensible to assume a free view, so you don't have any buildings right in front of you or any hills that obstruct the view to around you, very obviously. Right? So you have a free view and you have a clear view, so you don't have any thick fog, so that you don't even see this the lamps down the street or something like that. You have a clear view and you have a free view in this context, and then the horizon is the line where the sky appears to meet the ground.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Okay. So where I'm at is that I can, without saying, well, I understand it and it makes sense as far as they're claiming it, so it has to be true. I'm not saying that, but I can retrace and understand how the horizon occurs and why it occurs and what influences it according to what is being claimed in textbooks. So under the globe paradigm, I can understand how that works. Now,
Okay, cool.
with a flat Earth, I have not come that far, actually. I have been given a lot of different explanations, but they all fall apart very quickly. They don't form a cohesive understanding as far as I'm at that.
Okay. So let's imagine, to keep all things, like you said, as even as possible, no topography, we've gone to the sea. It's a lovely clear day. We can see the horizon 360 degrees around us. We're on a boat. Good position to start, yeah?
Sure.
Cool, awesome. So you're up in the crow's nest or the wheelhouse or the bridge, and you look with your eyes and you see the horizon. Now, is that the horizon physical at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet? Or is it, as we can demonstrate with many observations, not just the black swan, that the horizon appears to move around because of refraction, yeah? Yes? No? Maybe
it's
so?
not expected to be at a fixed distance, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. So then I get my binoculars and I look further than I did with my eyes and I see a horizon, yes? Extending into the distance. Yep.
That's something that I can't replicate. Like when I have a horizon and I can determine the distance to horizon that appears clear, and I use magnification, I use binoculars, then the horizon does not recede further.
It doesn't. You get closer to the horizon, do you? So, like,
no,
if I was
the horizon stays but you're still at the same distance.
Okay, cool. So let's keep going with this example, or I'll bring this new one up and we'll go from there. But every time we increase the optic, whether it's your eyes, binoculars, let's say a telescope, or a high-powered zoom camera, all you do is, when looking out to sea, is see a horizon, don't you? That's all you see. Doesn't matter the optic. Doesn't matter the optic that you use. The horizon just keeps extending into the distance because the optic is helping you see further. Correct?
No, the horizon does not appear to get further away.
No, it doesn't. Okay, you think that you get closer to the horizon. For example, if you had the same observation but you had a physical hill, do you think that you could zoom into the top of the hill and see, I don't know, the daisies and the grass on the top of the hill?
Maybe.
Yeah, eventually I would have thought that you would be able to get an optic that you should be able to use to zoom into the top of a hill. Let's call it a P900. Now, can you do that with the curvature of the Earth?
No. Should be able to do that, yes. And as I said multiple times right now.
But we don't. That's the problem. Every time we use that optic, the optic extends the horizon further away.
Can you show any evidence of that? Because that's not an experience I've made.
Yes, sure, no problem. So when I drop the image of the 6 wind turbines, it usually comes with a video. Let me show you the video. And hopefully you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because you can imagine standing out at the beach and you see a horizon, and then you put the optic to your eye. You see a little bit better. And then you zoom in. The horizon that was in front of an object then projects past the object. Let me see if I can find a video.
I've never made that observation. I mean, I've also done that myself, right? And my experience is when something appears to be cut off, and I zoom into it, then the whole view gets, like, what appears to be cut off gets bigger, but it still appears to be the same. It's cut off at the same point.
At the moment, we're not talking about the cut off of an object. At the moment, we're just talking about the horizon. So do you see the video I posted? It's the one that shows the wind turbines. As the camera zooms in, we see the horizon that was in front of the things that we couldn't see in the first instance project beyond the things that we can now see. The horizon.
No, it was not.
It was
in
never
front of
before
the things
the windmills.
before
The
zooming
windmills
in.
were simply too small to resolve because the resolution of the camera is so shitty.
Yeah, you didn't see the wind turbines clearly in the picture because they were too thin to see them in the view.
What happened to
in
the
beginning?
horizon?
But the horizon did not recede further away.
No. So when you look with your eyes and you see the horizon, and you definitely don't see any wind turbines, and then you change the optic, the horizon's already fucking moved.
Oh, I think with my eyes I would have seen the wind turbines. This is due to the resolution of the camera being low. With the naked eye and given the same view, I would have seen those wind turbines. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. Then let's maybe go this way. Do longer wavelengths of light refract more or less than shorter wavelengths of light?
Well, refraction is stronger with shorter wavelengths.
Yes. So ultraviolet light, blue light, refracts more than orange and red and infrared light. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So if we were to use infrared camera with less distortion of the image, do you think that we should be able to see a horizon closer to us in its more truer position or further away?
Well, in first instance, I would expect the horizon to be closer, I guess, usually.
Yeah. See, this is what you would have thought. And this is no, because you're kind of agreeing with what I would logically think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shorter wavelengths of light doesn't refract of much, so we will get a truer vision of the physical geometric horizon because there's not so much light being refracted. Yeah. So when
they're all true, they are all observed.
Yeah. Would you think that if we were to move in altitude above the refractive layer above the water, and when we view the horizon, do you think we should see the horizon in more of a truer position if we just gain altitude?
According to the measurements that...
Yes.
Yeah. So
yes.
Again, this is logically what I would think. If you were to get away from what is called the dirty zone above the surface of the water, where all the temperature and the gradient is happening and the density, then if you would have logically thought move with altitude away and you wouldn't have that refractive value. So if we were to use an infrared camera at altitude, do you think we would see the horizon in a truer position or further away? The silence is because you know where this is going. The silence is because you know.
Here's the thing. I'm detecting some bad faith from you because I have augmented a few things that you flat out ignored.
Right.
Forced your terminology and that we were in disagreement about in detail, and you just flat out steamrolled over that. So I'm not sure how honest this conversation is going to continue.
Oh, fucking hell, dude. Literally, I'm trying to walk you down the logical path where everybody up until this point agrees. We're talking about what refracts less. We're trying to observe the horizon. You didn't go with my horizon always appear in optics, doesn't matter the optic that you use, the horizon always extends into the distance.
No, it doesn't.
You didn't go with
what you've shown does not substantiate that.
Okay, so
substantiate that claim.
Okay, so fine, not a problem. What we'd do is we'd try and see a truer horizon. We were talking about refraction. We were trying to mitigate that by limiting its effects. One, get out of the refractive layer and gain altitude. You agreed to this, so did Embo. Two, the refractive value of wavelengths of light, shorter versus longer, infrared. You agreed to this, so did Embo. So when...
Well, I was trying to...
Oh, God's sake, man.
I was trying to add something important here, which is that light in the visible range or shorter wavelengths gets gets scattered more by water vapor or water droplets. So you have a haze that forms, and when you go below the visible range of light, you have with infrared light, you can cut through that haze to a better extent, right?
Yes.
Now, obviously, if you can't see through the haze in the visible range, but you can see through that haze in the infrared range, then that haze can have effects on the light, on the path of the infrared light that is not present on the light of the visible range, because it scatters and becomes becomes opaque before you can see those effects accumulate.
Yeah.
So you have an additional variable that you don't with the infrared range that you don't have with the visible range.
Yes, I'd agree to that too. But when we gain altitude, one, we should be able to remove ourselves away from the most refraction down at surface level. And two, if we were to use an infrared camera, we would be able to cut through that distortion. Yes?
Very roughly speaking. Again, you have when you cut through haze, then you have the additional effects of the haze on the infrared light that you don't have a path for the visible range. So
yeah, but it's not going to refract as much as visible light now, is it? Especially if we're not in that refractive.
Well, it depends what the effect of the haze that the infrared cuts through is.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So
yes, but the haze is completely different issue than refraction. These two factors work at the same time, but they aren't connected, like they aren't the same phenomenon.
Okay, so you're saying that the haze that the infrared cuts through couldn't possibly refract the infrared light when it cuts through?
It will refract light a little bit, just not as much as visible light or ultraviolet. We've already been through this. It's still
visible or ultraviolet light gets scattered, so that's why it's haze. That's why you can't see through it. It's opaque, right?
Yeah.
But that same material being present and not scattering the infrared light as much could cause the infrared light to at least deviate its path from refracting.
Okay. Fine.
Nobody denies the scattering. I'm simply saying that these two phenomena aren't the same thing. Scattering isn't refraction.
No, you're absolutely correct.
Yes.
Yes, and we're all in agreement then. So, with altitude using an infrared camera, should we see the horizon in more of a truer location? Or would it still be refracted beyond 1.225?
Oh, God. It can still be refracted, as I said.
The crescendo to this point is this. When we give observations like the Black Swan, or what I have with the bottom of the wind turbines and blah, 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 we do not see the horizon at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Refraction. Okay, cool. We're going to gain altitude, try and get out of that refraction value, and we're going to try and mitigate for that refraction value of the wavelength of light, infrared. The video that I've posted is high altitude observations between 30 and 35,000 feet. If we're to take the 35,000 feet value, the physical geometric horizon should be 229 miles away from the observer at that altitude with the infrared high-powered zoom P900 camera. What is clearly observed in the video and other videos when using this technology from high altitude is a horizon estimated to be at a distance of about 800 plus miles away.
Yeah, that's a lie.
Okay, watch the video.
JT Tolan has been shown to misidentify landmarks, especially in the distance, and lakes, that give the false impression of this kind of distances.
Cool. So can you back that up then? Or are you just going to make a claim? I want you to back it up.
I cannot back it up at the moment. I do not have the resources, Garrett.
So you can just make claims then?
Yes, so as such as you make claims, saying, well, he's observing
at the moment, excuse me, my friend, I've entered this conversation with you with good faith. out of the two of us, I think you've been a bit of a prick since you started talking to me today, and I don't like it. However, I've gone through at least 2 arguments with you, both talking about the horizon. One, I'm trying to demonstrate to you in good faith that the horizon's optical. It's only observed in your eyes or the technology that you use, and it extends into the distance depending on the technology. Your eyes, binoculars, telescope, high-powered zoom camera, you will always see a horizon. You won't be able to focus on the horizon like you would do the top of a hill. But you didn't like that. Not a problem.
Incorrect,
So we
yes.
try to speak about the horizon again and mitigate for the refraction of light because we want to see where the Earth curve is, right?
Fair.
It sounds like a good argument for me to mitigate those refraction values on something that we've all agreed upon. One, getting away from that refraction value down at surface level, and 2, maybe using the type of camera that can cut through the refraction value and mitigate for a maximum amount of refraction. Okay, fair enough. I've given you the images and you've just gone, nah. Dude, unless you come back with something better, you are the person in this conversation that hasn't really put yourself up for anything.
All right,
Now,
so
have you
I
got
will
anything
go
better
and I will. Okay, so for future conversation, I will gather the resources that show that the distances. Actually, with his most recent observation, Jay Tolan didn't even make claims of distances, right? It was our people that figured out distances, and they closely matched with what is expected with those 200 to 250 miles. Yeah, he has made observations in the past where he claimed 1,000 miles, though, and I'm sorry, but I can't confirm that. It looks much closer to a few hundred miles. It's not at all as extreme of discrepancy as he's making it out at the very least. But fair enough. I can't back it up. I can't present it at the moment. So fair enough.
But you presented it anyways.
I'll tell you this as well. If you do come back, sorry, dude, let me just finish and then I'll pass you over. If you do come back with evidence that shows that this is not the case, then I will take that on board as an honest person and deal with it. I'm not scared of what you've got. I just want to see it. Because up until today, no one's been able to do this, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, then you have not really looked at it. Anyway, then again, going higher reduces the fluctuations in the refraction that we that we're seeing. That's true. The values become much more aligned. Typically, become much more gathered around what is called the standard atmosphere. And with using infrared, that is a good idea if you have a clear view to the horizon already. So if the horizon appears clearly and is not, you're not looking through increasing opaqueness through some haze, then that is a very good idea. But once you're looking through an opaque area that you cannot see in the visible range, but the infrared cuts through, then you will have to go down a rabbit hole of what effect is that opaque material, that material that is opaque to the visible range, having on the path for the infrared. Because yes, when you have the same ambient conditions for visible light and for infrared light, then the infrared light is less affected than the visible light because it has a longer wavelength. But when you're cutting through opaque haze, then you're having a light path that you have in infrared, a path from target to observer that's not accessible anymore for the visible range. So you have an additional variable that you will have to take into account.
There is no opaque haze on Black Swan example.
Indeed, it's not a black swan, by the way. It's a straw man. Calling it a black swan is a straw man fallacy.
But Black Swan has no opaque and haze.
Indeed.
You can see
to
with
my knowledge.
Yeah, you can see with the optics, normal optics, the water. You don't need the infrared anything. And there's no refraction.
Indeed, exactly. And that's what I was alluding to right now. When in that case, in that Black Swan observation, you're seeing those oil platforms, for example, right? and you're seeing them clearly in the visible
No,
range.
I'm not
Now
speaking
take out.
about oil rigs. I'm not speaking about oil rigs. They are distance markers. So that means that you know the distance. I'm speaking about water behind oil rigs.
Yes. Fair enough.
Is it water? Is it that water real there, or it's making some kind of phenomenon that we see?
It's real water. Nobody's claiming it's not real water.
That's all, man.
Okay, good. So what I was explaining just now is in that case. What I was explaining just now in that are you finished? Are you okay? Are you okay?
I'm okay only to confirm. Is it haze there?
Are you finished?
No, I want to confirm. Is it haze or opaque there on the oil rig behind the oil rig?
No, it's not.
Okay.
So are you finished now?
Yeah, that means can we conclude that surface is flat? That 10 miles?
Not necessarily. Are you finished?
Why?
You were interrupting what I was saying. Let me know when you're finished. I would like to finish what I was saying first, and then we can continue having a conversation.
You just keep repeating yourself, though, dude. Like 10 times now, man. You say the same thing over and over.
Because I get interrupted in the middle, and I don't want people to get lost with what I was saying.
I'm
saying last because it connects to what I was saying before. Right. So, with the water behind the oil rigs, when you have a black swan observation, I think it would be a very interesting idea to try, and that in that case, in that observation, directly apply an infrared filter and view at this in infrared and compare the view to the horizon that is not opaqued by not obscured by haze in the visible range to the horizon that you see in the infrared range. And to my knowledge, that's not been done with the black swan observations.
But you said there is no haze.
Exactly. To my knowledge,
why to use infrared? Why to use infrared where is no haze?
Because as every Jedi was mentioning, infrared light is less affected by the same ambient conditions than visible light. So you would see, you would get close to what you would expect geometrically with straight lines of sight.
Yeah, but with visible light, with the normal optics, I see the water without haze.
Yes.
Okay. That means I don't
Nobody's disputing that.
That means I don't need infrared. Okay.
Yes. That is why we would need technology to help us.
So you would just like a longer straight line.
I want more knowledge about how
you want a longer straight line. Got it.
How knowledge you need to get that you find out their distance is 10 miles and there is a water on 10 miles? What do you need?
That is known already, right? What's not known is the light path between the observer and the between target, which is behind the water where you see where the horizon appears, and the observer. That we are interested in. We already went into, you could try and set up a grid of measurements of ambient conditions along the observation line, which is quite high in effort and quite low in payout, considering that we have other options to try and mitigate those effects. As Jada was saying, we can try and get further up. But if we get further up, like 10,000 feet, then we are very likely to have a lot of haze very low, very near the horizon. So infrared would cut through a range of visibility that's not accessible to us in the visible range. But as you've mentioned, when we're lower, then we have no haze. We see the horizon clearly. In that case, though, we have more refraction or more possible refraction going on because the ambient conditions can vary more, or the effect of ambient conditions can vary more. So applying the infrared there would be highly beneficial to mitigate the effect refraction can have.
can Horizon, is it Horizon before the oil rigs? Are you saying?
No.
No. And then
Horizon appears behind the oil rigs.
Why you are discussing about Horizon, light, everything? What that matter?
Okay, the Black Swan argument originally used to be the Horizon should be 1.22 times the square root of the height in feet number of miles away, right?
Yes.
And we observe further than that, therefore the globe can't be true, right? Then you were bombarded with a logical analysis of the matter, which went into, well, you have very ambient conditions that can cause the path of the light to change, which changes where the intersection would be, and eventually the argument warped into, we see the horizon further away, but the Black Swan about it is that it's not at a fixed distance, or that it's further away than that, and that is still a straw man argument. It's still not correctly analyzing what should happen according to a globe.
Where is the globe horizon?
The globe horizon, of course, where the light path to a target that is far away is tangent, and that goes through to the observer, is tangent to the surface of the globe. That's where the globe.
Tangent to the surface.
That's where the light path is tangent.
And where is curving?
That is where it is curving. So on a globe, the horizon occurs because. Okay, so on a globe, the horizon occurs because the surface of the globe obstructs the view to targets that are very far away. And obstruction happens. The obstruction happens where the light path between a target and an observer is obstructed, not necessarily where the straight line is obstructed. So because the light path, as we established, can vary due to ambient conditions with refraction and so on, right? So when the obstruction, the geometric position of things doesn't change, but the path of light between a target and an observer changes, then that changes the point where the obstruction occurs.
And what changes on Black Swan example?
The Black Swan examples are typically just pictures or observations made over a relatively short amount of time, so a few minutes or a few tens of minutes, right? So they are made under certain
Dude, if you're trying to say that these long distance observations are not you're pissing into the wind.
What? They're cut out in the middle.
Yeah, I know, my reception stinks. I'm saying if are anomalous, pissing into the wind.
No, they're not anomalous. Anomalous.
Well, you were just trying to set it up that it was certain conditions in a very small time frames.
Even that doesn't matter. Even that doesn't matter. The water is still
that those observations were done under given.
Light is doing. Whatever you are saying now, whatever light is doing, the physicality of the sphere, in this case water, because we are observing the water, it's there. And it's there because it's there, because we're seeing, not because light is doing something and projecting something.
We're seeing it because it's there, right? It's not there because we see it, right? If you get hit in the head and see stars, then you're not. Then the stars are not there because you're seeing them. You're seeing stars because you got hit in the face.
I'm asking you the simple question: if you see that, and if is that real, how you call that surface?
Huh?
If you see that oil rigs and that water behind the oil rigs, how looks that surface? What is description of that surface?
Sea. Water surface. Yeah. It's the sea.
Is it curved or flat?
Lake.
Is it curved or flat? I know that it's, water is also wet. Is it wet water?
That's in dispute.
Maybe water is dry.
Okay. You finished?
You're telling me the sea has the salty water. My God, what information!
Yeah.
Oh, really? I didn't know that sea water is salty. Oh my God! Did you know, people?
Are you
Can
finished?
You tell me that surface, what we observe on Black Swan, that surface, how you will describe? Is it curving or is it flat?
There is a dispute here. I do not know myself.
You're like a human being. Asking the question, it's like a child. Is that observation, that Black Swan, is it that curved surface or flat?
Well, they are giving a radius for the Black Swan that the Earth would have to have for the horizon to occur that distance. So it would still be curved very slightly, wouldn't it? But it doesn't. It's kind of okay. Never mind.
Have a table. Can you say that your table is flat?
Yeah, I mean, depends on what accuracy we're talking about.
I'm saying about looking
my table specifically, for example, it has kind of a surface that has a structure. It has kind of ripples in it. So the flatness of it, like if you take a microscope to it, it would definitely not appear flat because it has like a lot of rills in it.
Look at your table. Can you tell me, is it curved or flat?
It's flat.
Good. Look at the Black Swan example. Is that surface curved or flat?
I don't know.
Oh my God, is it?
What is your problem with trying to be intellectually honest?
Why you didn't answer for table? So, I don't know.
Yeah, what you're doing is you're going 5 steps back from where we are at with discussing this matter.
I'm doing this. I'm telling you like a human being, that observation without anything about discussing flat earth or globe earth, that observation showing the 10 miles of the flat surface, and that everybody will agree with that. Not you, I can see.
So not everybody then.
Yeah, that means you will not say that it's flat.
Indeed. Because it's useless to say it's flat or not.
It's
useless. You just said, I don't know.
Yeah,
and I guess that's okay.
It is. Because it doesn't differentiate the things that are in dispute here.
But he asked you if it looks flat. Does it look flat?
Yeah, well, what use is it?
What do you mean, what use is it? Does it look flat or not?
You not answer the question?
I mean, my perception is not that well that good that I can say that for sure over those distances. Sometimes things look a little bit.
You know why? Everything. I will tell you the answer. Everything. If I tell you every example, anything that means table, whatever you want, you will say yes, that's flat. But if I take an example of the surface of the Earth, wherever that it is, you will say I don't know.
Yeah.
Of
because
course.
when the distances get.
Do you know what's that?
Okay,
if you see the lake, if you see the lake from the mountain, can you say the lake is flat or it's curving?
That probably looks mostly flat. Yeah.
Okay, great. Finally, we are somewhere.
Was that loud?
I felt like it was.
Well, I was trying. Yeah,
awesome,
it was quite hard to have a sensible conversation with him. Yeah.
Well, AK, the hard part is you're not being intellectually honest about, because Sasha's kind of like rapid fire, right? He's just kind of trying to get you to respond honestly. So, I mean, the quicker you do that, the easier it gets.
And leading the conversation into useless directions, because yes, nobody's disputing that we experience the world as flat in that sense, right?
Well, you kind of were, right? You were saying the Black Swan was a straw man. When it's not,
well,
it's just an observation.
Yeah, the reason
where the globe doesn't work.
Like you understand?
It's not straw man.
No, that is.
How did you get the radius in the first place then?
What are we strawmanning?
That is moving the goalpost.
No, I'm just asking you, how did you even
Yes,
get
you
this
are.
radius if
You
that's
are
what we're
moving goalposts. You're
falsifying?
making claims. I'm rebutting it, refuting it, and then it's like, okay, how do you get it in the first place? It's like, no, you moved the conversation to something else.
So it's not a straw man.
We can talk about that. It's not a problem. But first, maybe we should hash out the disagreements that we already have. Otherwise, how are you possibly expecting any progress in to be made with regards to our common basis of what we agree on?
All I'm saying is it's not a straw man. It's a modus tollens argument about the horizon and where it should be
and
according
it's a
to the
strawman
globe.
fallacy. It's a modus tollens,
what?
yes. And the structure of that modus tollens is a straw man of what is being claimed.
Then you don't know what you're talking about, and you've clearly exposed yourself.
do.
Thank you.
I do know what I'm talking about.
You're obviously not
Modus
honest,
tollens
dude.
is
We get it.
if the Earth is a spheroid or a sphere with radius 3959 miles or something like that, then the horizon should be no more than 1.22 mile and 22 times square root of observer height in feet miles away. Now that is a premise, and from there, that is the Q, the P, and then the Q, and the Q. And he's observing that not Q, therefore not P, and that structure, that is valid. That structure is fine. The internal structure of the black swan argument is fine. There's no problem with it. The problem is the premise that is being set up. If the Earth is a globe with 3959 miles radius, then the horizon should be no more than 1.22 times square root of observer height in feet miles away. That is not a correct statement. That is not what is expected according to what is being taught.
What is correct statement? Is the ground curving away or not, AK?
The globe, it would be curving away, yes.
Is the globe being formed?
What do you mean?
Is the Earth's surface curved?
I don't know.
Where's the curve?
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know.
Okay. Who's next?
Okay.
It's a large leap of faith to have.
What faith?
Oh, I'm tilting wobbling in a space vacuum of infinite space, and I don't even know if the Earth's surface is curved.
When have I said anything like that?
Well, you didn't, but it's part of the entire paradigm of the globe.
Well,
so why argue the globe
not
at all?
necessarily, to be honest. Like, you can have a geocentric Earth. Right? You can reject
you don't know
the
how you're speaking,
idea that it's orbiting
still in a
and so
vacuum
on,
of
but
space.
it would still be
okay. You rearrange what's in the space.
No, not necessarily. You can still have a firmament around it.
But you're still assuming a Earth, like a planet globe, dude.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
Where did I assume that?
Prove the curve then, man.
Huh?
Prove the curve.
Just because I'm not assuming a globe does not mean that I can prove it. Right?
You've been assuming the globe the whole time.
Do you not understand, guys?
What's
so hard to wrap your head around?
Dude, I get it, but every time you've looked at the horizon with me, it's always in the pretense that that's Earth curve somehow. Even if it's not a 1.225 blah, blah, blah. That's Earth curve somehow.
Okay, so not somehow. I can understand. I can explain and understand how it works. Given a globe, right? I can understand how this is, how this could be the result, right? That does not. I already explained before. That does not mean that this is the only way it could happen. It does not mean that this is how it happens. I'm just saying that I understand what the explanation is. Okay, and I am open and actually actively searching for other understandings and other possibilities.
Cool. Look into infrared lasers.
Okay. Will do.
Looking in definition of the horizon.
Sasha's just mic
already did that.
I
necessary.
put it in my headphones. Yeah.
Not necessary to look into that definition.
Oh, really? Can you tell me how? I know that it's a parent place, but can you tell me it's made from what? Horizon.
Made from what?
Yeah. That line. It's made from what? Yeah, that line, horizontal line. It's made from what?
What causes it?
Necessary horizontal. Again, as I said, I do not know definitely for myself.
I will tell you. It's made by the surface of the earth and the sky.
Okay. Oh yeah.
But
I thought you were asking something non-trivial.
No. The physical water in this case, making the horizon with the sky. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Do you see the physical water?
Yeah.
It's going, not 10 meters behind the oil rig. It's going away.
Okay.
And that water, it's making horizon.
Yeah.
And it's going away more than 10 miles.
Okay.
Okay. But it should be 1.2 miles.
No.
No.
Oh. You do not know what it should be because you do not have sufficient information. Actually.
Oh, I have sufficient information. Wait.
I'm going to finish what I was saying. So, actually, Pablo, it's not going to be long. It's not going to be long.
No, man. You said you
Why am I the one getting muted here? Huh? He very clearly interrupted me.
Because you said I have no information.
Why am I the one getting muted here?
Man,
relax.
Please may the mod that muted me speak up, and why was I muted when I was the one that got interrupted?
Don't worry about it. I'm muted every day.
Excuse me. I don't really care. At the time, both of you were speaking through each other, and I was already hovering over.
Why did you not mute both?
I'm telling you. Because I already had your screen up from where I had unmuted you earlier. You were the first person that was there. I had that control. I did it straight away. Just to gain control so you two could start talking to each other properly. Don't take it fucking personally.
It is quite personal if you target my person first rather than assessing the earth.
Can I say now? You said that 1.2 miles, that I have no information for that. That is the geometry of that is the size of the earth.
Yes, indeed.
Indeed. Why are you saying this is not information, like correct information?
I posted in the side chat for you.
I'm saying that how far the horizon should appear away in this certain observation of the Black Swan, for example. You do not have sufficient information to deduce that. Because it's not only the geometry of Earth that decides how far the horizon is supposed to be away, it's also the path that the light takes between the horizon between faraway objects and the observer.
Does light change the surface of the Earth?
No, it doesn't. But it does. The path of the light. But the path of the light changes. If the obstruction occurs, if the horizon occurs to an obstruction, right, and the object that obstructs the view stays the same, but the path of light from beyond a target that is beyond the obstruction to the observer changes, then the point where the obstruction occurs changes. It's not hard to understand. You can figure that out geometrically as well.
Well, what changes in Black Swan, for example? What changes?
Ambient conditions are subject to constant changes.
Is that oil rig on 9 miles? Is it?
Indeed, yes, and it's not claimed to change. But what we know changes.
that didn't change.
conditions
Okay,
will
great.
change
Okay,
the
great,
path of
great,
light.
man. I understand you. Great. Let's agree on something. The oil rig is there. That didn't change. Okay.
Indeed.
Is it physical water behind or change, or is there?
No, it's there. That does also
Is
not
it
change.
that physical water surface of the earth?
Yes.
Does that water curving?
Oh, God. That's what's in dispute.
I'm asking you. I want to
The
come to
subject of the conversation.
I want to come. What do you see? Do you see 10 miles of flatness or not? Don't take me like it's a level like a 0, millimeter flatness.
What use is that that statement? Yes, it appears flat, so
okay.
Therefore, it is flat.
So doesn't curve.
Oh God, that is what we're trying to analyze.
How we will analyze that? With what?
Well,
what we will use to analyze if it's curving?
Well, obviously, observing the distance to the horizon is kind of a difficult. Leads to all kinds of difficulties with regards to accuracy, changes in it, and so on.
Nothing changed there, man. We discussed now that nothing is changed. The water is there, everything is there, nothing is changing.
Yeah, the view is changing though. When you go there to at a different day, the time of day, or in a different season, then you will make
I don't care about other days. I don't care about other days. I don't care about other days.
You should.
No,
though,
I don't.
Because the view, the changes, and you're saying that nothing changes. That changes. That is undeniable.
That means that something happening, like you said, atmospheric conditions. That means that you will see less.
Indeed.
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Why you see that? What indeed? Of course.
No, it's not only that you see less due to atmospheric conditions. That's not how it works.
Can you see more? Can you
it's
see
a little
more?
bit more complex than that.
Can you see more with the conditions?
Yeah, should be.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay, here's Sasha. Maybe
really depends on the whole situation.
Do you know what he's saying? He's saying this. The optics has, for example, let's say one optic can see 60 miles with the perfect, conditions. But he's saying there is a condition that you will see 80 miles.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah, Sasha, I think he might be not understanding you. Maybe break it down to his education level. Like something like this. Like Funk, do you understand that the worse the conditions?
Oh God, great, you're golden.
Yeah, do you understand the worse the conditions, the less distance you see? The perfect
conditions.
Yeah, conditions that are worse than normal.
What do you mean with worse?
Okay. Doesn't brain fart the word worse.
He won't be honest, Crit.
50 degrees Celsius, 50 degrees Celsius, 90% of humidity, whatever you want.
No, he is being honest. He just has a very low education level and very low level of articulation. Where in his world, worst isn't worst. It's best because it's subjective. If you can see up, over, and around a curve because the conditions are the least favorable, so like the worst off the optical conditions, the further you see. The best conditions, the shorter you see. See, it's this really broken worldview that's based on an extreme lack of education. Extreme lack. I mean, even that simple of a concept is beyond his ability to comprehend or understand. And it will remain this way because somehow he inserted flat Earth as a barrier to his ability to learn anything at all. Even if globe, these statements are true. But he can't accept it because there's a photo out there that the Rumpus used to try to explain why you see too far.
Maybe because these people think that we are born like a flat earthers, like, it's in our blood. We It was retarded idea 7-8 years ago. It was fucking retarded. And it is retarded even now. When you say normal people on the street, oh, flat earth, everybody will say you're fucking retarded. But if you look into that, you will find out there is something wrong. We all grow up with all that education, what you grow up. But you cannot commit, and you cannot say, there is a water, but now light path is doing something. Whatever it's doing, that water is there. It can, I don't know, this is so ridiculous.
Yeah, let's try it again. Funk, are you able, or Pickle Rick, are you able to at least try to engage with Sasha? Just try.
Sure.
You just gotta try.
Sure.
All right, try again, Sasha. If he fucks up, I'll just boot him out.
Alright. Why should I keep this up under this threat?
You don't have to do anything you don't want
to. For me?
He's done. He's done. It was a threat. Holy crap.
Even it's better like this. You heard the argument. All people, Jedi, whatever you're speaking, Jedi, you're speaking every day about celestial navigation, about everything what you said. You listen and you say, this is bullshit. Everything what Jedi said. I don't believe in this. This is fucking crap. And you go away and you live your life and don't come back and ask question again to Jedi. He told you everything, and if you didn't get it, that's all. It's all right. It's nobody force you. You know what? You must be flat earther. You must be that.
Sasha, over the last couple of days, I've decided to start referring to you as the Croatian Yoda. So that's who you are now. You should change your name to the Croatian Yoda. That'd be brilliant.
See, it's hilarious. Like, inside his worldview, I said, hey, will you try to talk to Sasha? Yes, I will. But I can't. Why can't you? Because Crit threatened me. Okay, is there someone else you want to talk to then? Well, no, he can't do that either. So inside his worldview, is there anybody he's able to talk to? Well, no, he can't, because there's a threat on the table. And what threat is that? That if you can't talk to people, I'm just going to kick you out. You said you can't talk to people because I'm going to kick you out. It's a self-defeating worldview. Which one is it, Pickle Rick? Are you able to talk to people or not? If you are, you can stay. If not, you can leave. Or you can't. Why? Because I told you have to leave if you can't. Like, holy shit, dude. How do you juggle that much shit